Today I'm going to be sharing the results of my attempt at the 7-day art journal challenge. It is originated by Sketchbook School, but I saw Drawing with Waffle do it and decided to hop on the trend as well. I really wanted to do something with art journaling, and this was just 1 week, so it fit perfectly with my schedule right now because I am in college and it's getting really hard to keep sketching every single day. The challenge did an amazing job reminding me that my sketches don't have to be perfect. I was looking back on my middle school sketchbook recently, and I think I was just less attached to the finished outcome, and so you could see my progress throughout the pages, but now I'm a little bit more scared to sketch in my sketchbook sometimes, and I really want to get rid of that mindset. For day 1, the prompt is breakfast, and usually for breakfast I do eggs because they're easy, but this day I had everything bagel. I had 2 eggs, there was some shrimp in there as well. I also had some tomatoes and onions in there. I tried as much as possible at the beginning of the day to get some protein in, and eggs are a really good way to do that. Sketching the texture on the bagel was also really fun because it was smooth, but there was also like the little bits from the everything bagel seasoning on top, and so the little dots and circles were kind of really satisfying to doodle. But that was the extent of the easy part, because as you see me moving into the eggs, it got hard to distinguish the eggs from the onions because I like my eggs a bit well done, and there were some crispy edges that were also darker, and I just really had a hard time making the onions distinguishable from the eggs. So you will see me erase a lot because I'm trying to bring back some of that value for the eggs so you can actually see them. The other option, stop eating my eggs burnt, but I really can't stand a runny yolk, and so I will take a burnt egg over that any day, to be honest. And the eggs aren't really burnt. It's just I like to say they're well done. Something that I also noticed was that I spent way more time on this specific sketch than the other sketches on all the other days. I think as the challenge went on, I understood that the sketches were supposed to be more quicker and just more looser, which worked perfect for me because it was definitely a very eventful week. Here I'm trying to make use of the white space more to my advantage so I can try to redeem myself with the second egg. I don't know if it actually worked, but I'm also trying to make these next couple pieces of onions lighter. But yeah, I did my best. Even though the middle section looks a bit muddy, I am ultimately really happy with the way it turned out, just because, I don't know, I've always really liked food sketches and stuff. This first day was a Monday, and Mondays aren't too busy for me, so I was able to spend more time on this one than the other sketches as the week went on. But I don't think that's a bad thing because the other sketches just get looser, and I had more fun with them as well. Then we move on to the plate. I didn't want to do too much just because it was a white plate. I don't think there was really anything fancy that needed to be done to it. I just kind of added the shadow of the breakfast structure to the plate. And same goes for the butter knife. Since it was plastic, I just made sure to outline it well and throw a little shadow in there. We are almost done, just adding a bit more shadows to the plate and where the knife meets the plate as well, because that happens when you place an object, there's a shadow. Here, I'm just writing what exactly I put in the breakfast, I guess. So yes, the spread is honey, some garlic powder, and some hummus as well. And then for the egg itself, I did some peppers, red onions. I forgot to write that I put tomatoes in there. The shrimp I just air fried, and yeah, that's it for day 1. For day 2, the prompt is outfit / what you wore that day. It was almost perfect because each day there was something going on that kind of aligned with each of the prompts, maybe to a fault. You'll see me explain here in a minute. But for this specific day, me and my friend had gone to this market thing that was happening at a community college that was not too far from us. But my outfit for that day was a red jersey. Those are coming back into style. I had these jeans that I really liked. They had like a butterfly design thing going on with the pockets that were really cute. At least I thought they were cute. I had some black and white shoes that I tried including in the drawing a little bit, if you can see at the bottom there, but I just kind of gave up because I couldn't fit it all onto the page. And I had some gold jewelry as well, so I tried to incorporate that into it. I really enjoy drawing and painting folds and clothes and stuff, so this was pretty fun for me. But I'm thinking back, and I haven't drawn like a full body situation in a long time, so this was good practice as well. But yeah, that was my OOTD, as the kids say, or I don't know what they call it these days. But my pants are definitely on the baggier side because I've kind of really strayed away from pants that stick to my body because I have been scarred from skinny jeans. That was kind of all I wore, I think, growing up, were the skinny jeans from like Ross and Burlington. And at some point, I convinced myself that they were the reason why everything in my life was like not working properly. I was like, these skinny jeans are the reason why everything is falling apart. And so I like threw away all my skinny jeans, and now I'll only wear baggy jeans. Also very random, if you're wondering why you can see my shoe, it's because I was running around trying to find the best angle, the best lighting to position the camera and also have like good enough lighting at the same time. And so I chose to put my camera on a weird angle on like the couch hand. I like contort myself but that was the best thing that I could come up with at the time. Because, well, as the challenge says, you're not really supposed to think about it too much and like set up a tripod and everything. So I just would like place my camera on the couch and sit down on the couch and try to make it as non crazy production-y as possible. I think the whole outfit actually is thrifted, if I'm not mistaken, which I grew up on like Ross and like thrifted clothes. But now it's just kind of like I have a good eye for thrifting, and so I think a good amount of my clothes are still thrifted. Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ, can I speak? So please ignore the heavy motor sound. I live by a street and it's college. There's always something going on the street, whether it's people yelling out their lungs at 3 a.m. right outside my window. I'm just clearly sleep deprived because I can't speak. Hello? I mean, it checks out. It's 1 a.m. right now and there's somebody currently yelling outside my window. So, but anyway, back to my closet. I have I have a good amount of my clothes here, but I made sure that when I was packing for college, I only brought stuff that I know I would actually wear, which makes it sound like I have this huge closet. I really don't, but I have some stuff that I've had for 7 years, and I really am just holding on to for the nostalgia of it, and so stuff like that I didn't bring. Here, I am just adding some butterflies to the background. I tried to do a little doodle or little elements with the color of the day. So I would pick a color to do the number in, and then whatever color that was, I would try to do like a doodle in the background with it. And so I decided to go with the butterflies on the pockets of the jeans, and I did like butterflies inspired by that in the background. But yeah, they're not perfect. We added some swirlies in there and all this stuff. But I mean, I had fun. I think that was the whole point of the challenge, so I'll take that as a win. Also added some little hearts, and yeah. After this very moment actually, my week took an interesting turn. That is it for day 2, and we move on to day 3. So, day 3 was a Wednesday. By this time, we were back in school because the ice in Texas only lasts for a couple hours, but they shut down everything still. So, by this time, the roads had already melted and we were able to go back to school. But I wasn't doing the best because I had received some news that my mom was in the hospital and she wasn't doing too good. It was definitely shocking, I will say. It was also it felt unreal because me and my mom are really close. She's like my best friend, and to have something so scary happen and not be able to talk about it with my best friend. The rest of the week was definitely hard, but I think the sketches and just a lot of things really helped. A lot of my friends showed up for me. A lot of circumstances worked in really weird ways because the week just kept getting weirder and weirder. My laptop broke at some point, my iPad broke at some point. I had an assignment due, and a couple hours beforehand, something happened, and it just felt like so many things were like piling on top of each other. For day 3, the prompt was book or song. I was originally gonna pick song, but I really like the book Kite Runner, and I had this really good idea to draw young Amir Alal and Hassan. The book was on my mind because I thought a lot about how as immigrant children, sometimes you have to kind of watch the light in your parents' eyes dim as they leave behind their support systems, their passions, life as they know it in order to give you a better experience. And so yeah, it was a good book. I love Khaled Hosseini's writing. I don't know if he's written any other books apart from Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns, but I would love to read it because I think his writing is just so beautiful. Plus, I love historical fiction. So, yeah, we'll see. Day 4 was pet, which kind of threw me for a loop because I don't have a pet. But I went back to Sketchbook School's original video, and he basically said if you don't have a pet, you can draw what you wish was your pet. And so I decided on an Australian Shepherd. If I were ever to have a dog, that is definitely the breed that I would get. I don't know, their eyes are just so pretty and they're just so cute. And that is what I decided on. I have this picture saved of this Australian Shepherd, and that's what I decided to draw for that day. This was my quickest sketch because Thursdays are usually very, very busy for me, especially with the snow days that we had missed. Everybody was trying to cram all the work into the last couple of days of the week, so I really didn't have too much time. I think I spent about 20-ish minutes on this one, which is why it looks so bad at first. But I ended up fixing it. I think I was trying to rush through it a little bit too much at first, and so I was erasing, and I was getting like more and more agitated because of all the stuff going on during the week. But I eventually take a deep breath and I'm just like, okay, let's erase. It looks so bad. Let's erase and try this again. See, so much better. I just turned off the camera for a second. I don't know, sometimes when I'm on camera I get a little like nervous as well drawing. I'm trying to get over that hurdle by filming more, but yeah, I fix it and I just go in and add a little bit of hatching to bring out some value in there. But I really like the nose as well. I think I just needed to rework the proportions and go back and just restructure everything. At this point in the week, I was also preparing for my first ever art booth pop-up situation, and so I was also busy trying to get ready for that as well. That was also part of some crazy stuff that happened. African Students Association at the universities that are in Texas are just so unserious. I'm not gonna say the specific school that this happened with, but that's a story for another day. But as somebody who thought I was still hosting an art booth, I was getting my stickers ready. I was, emailing samples and pictures to my person that was supposed to do my stickers and my prints, which they did do it. I just wasn't too happy with it, but it didn't matter because I didn't even end up selling them. Anyways, back to Australian Shepherds. Let's say that. Usually they have like a two-tone situation going on, and so this one specifically had some brown spots. It was a white dog with like brown spots on it, And so you just see me adding the hatching for that. I don't know how responsible it would be to get a dog at this time, just because I'm not in the apartment too much as is already. I really want one, but I also have to be considerate of the dog, and so I just don't think it would be feasible to get one as of right now. Maybe when I'm done with college, then it would be a good idea to get one, but for now, I think I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm also pretty happy with the way the wispies and the fur came out. I don't know. It looks very sketchy, but I'm satisfied with how it turned out. So this is where I realized that I wrote day 7 instead of day 4. It's been a long week. It has felt like 7 days at this point, and so that's very valid, honestly. But yeah, I just was very... it was funny to me that I wrote 7 instead of 4. But yeah, I would just change it here. Day 5 was place. And I originally, when I was planning out this video, really wanted to go to somewhere relaxing, maybe like a rooftop of one of the buildings and just like have a study day and then draw that. But day 5 was, again, this week was crazy. And so day 5 was the day that this stuff with all my electronics was happening. So my computer was having issues in the morning, and then there was an assignment that was due at, I think, about 6 p.m. And at 3 p.m., I tried turning on my, what's it called, my iPad, and it wasn't working. And so I'm looking around, and I'm like, my iPad just shut off out of nowhere. And it was very random. So I go to the school Apple store, and they're telling me that they have absolutely no idea what's wrong with it. I'm probably going to have to get a new iPad, which is a new expense that I did not budget for. While this is happening, I also receive a call from the hospital, and it was just a lot going on. It ended up just being that I needed to reset my iPad or something, but in the moment, it just felt very like everything was piling on. Somebody just ended up helping me reset it. I charged it, and it was fine. I just feel like I'll always associate that store with that day and the way I felt every time I walk, because I walk by it fairly often, and I always think about it. It kind of sucks, but I could maybe try going there and trying to, I don't know, remake a new memory there that is positive, but it was interesting. Day 6. Day 6 was the Saturday of my art booth, and the theme for the sketch of the day was quiet moment. Should I just tell the story now? Wait, I'm gonna tell the story now. Okay, I'm not gonna say the name of the school, but basically there are a lot of events. Wait, if you're in Texas, you're kind of gonna know the school, but I don't really care. I reached out to the coordinator of this event because I saw a couple of vendors were going to be selling at the event, and I was like, hey, I want to sell some prints, some stickers, and some jewelry. There was a fashion show, there was this market, and then there was going to be a couple parties after, and this is over the span of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I decided to go to just the market because it's a whole city over, and I just wanted to sell my stuff. So I asked a friend to drive us, and my roommate comes with, and another friend also comes. The coordinator said to get there at 11 a.m. so all the vendors could meet, and then they could also share tables and give us our spaces. So I wake up bright and early at 6 a.m. because I gotta paint my signs, get my stuff together. I also wanted to demo the booth, so I knew where everything went before I got there, so I did that. We get dressed, we all haul ourselves into the car, and we get there at, I think, about 10:30ish. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I'm here early. And so we get there, and I text in the group chat that they've been giving us information in. I'm like, hey, we're here. I also have my roommate call because she knows somebody that's on the exec board, and we're here early. I'm never early for anything, so I'm excited, I'm pumped. I'm like, it's gonna be an amazing day. They told us they're at brunch right now. And so I'm like, oh, that's weird. Why aren't they, setting up? But I don't think too much of it. What they tell us is that they'll have somebody come over and let us in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we decide we're going to go get brunch since some of us haven't eaten anything yet. The day just started off feeling like the whole day was going to be full of side quests, because at first we go to the mall to try to get food, and we walk around for a good hour. We're texting in the group chat all this while trying to get updates, and there's nothing really. We were just kind of walking around exploring the mall. So we got some free matcha, some free coffee, because there was this store giving out free coffee to students if you show your ID. We explored this art gallery type store. We went around smelling perfumes and stuff. Notice how I haven't mentioned the food that we are here in question for. That's because we really couldn't find anything that we liked at the mall, so we decided to go somewhere. We find a place after driving around for a while because a lot of places were full. It's a Saturday, people are out. We find a place to eat, but at this point they sent a message in the chat saying that the owner of the building and the owner of the venue that they were supposed to use have had a physical altercation or something, and now they need to find a new venue. We get seated to eat, and the update changes to they have a venue, but now the event is going to be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. An event that was originally supposed to be from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. We ended up just exploring the city. We studied a little bit because they ended up just canceling the whole event altogether. I was a little bummed out about the inventory and the money I'd spent on it, but honestly, it was time well spent with really good company, especially because of all the stuff that had happened during the week. It was a nice way to take my mind off of all of that, and I really just liked the people that I was with. It was good music. It kind of felt like a really long road trip, but yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And that was it for day 6. For day 7, it was supposed to be sleep, so do something right before bed or something that has to do with your night routine. And I did Dreamland because, again, I saw this picture on Pinterest that kind of just came to mind immediately. I did not film it because I did the sketch right before bed, but I wanted to do something Jungle Book inspired, very because bedtime, I have really imaginative children's book inspired dreams sometimes, and they're very interesting. So I decided to draw from that for this one. But yeah, that is the Sketchbook School 7-day art journal challenge. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me. I would definitely recommend that you try the art challenge for yourself as well. Yes, please let me know what other art challenges you guys would like to see. And that is all for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, your night, your afternoon, or whatever you got going on.